Has there been any headway? I know they want to either fix or build a new school. Has there been any headway in that?
On what? On Carter Elementary?
Yeah, Carter, thank you.
No, we have no new information. The board's voted, I think, 3 times now to, asking, saying that we have this plan, and part of the plan is to renovate Carter Elementary School, and our colleagues at the County Commission have sent it back to us again, I guess, wanting to see if we still have the same opinion of things with 5 new board members. So we'll see. I firmly believe that renovation is a great approach to addressing the deficiencies there, adding some capacity, and making it a top-notch facility.
What do you think you'll all get a vote on, whether or not to renovate or rebuild? Sometime in the next month or two, we'll see. We need. The returning board members have been studying this issue for years, and the 5 new board members, I want to let them have time to get up to speed on it before they're asked to vote on it.
Thank you. Let us now switch to sort of the open questioning period. Anyone have a question you've been wanting to ask and had not? All right, let's go there and there.
John Stewart. I went to school in Pinellas County in Florida. I don't know if you're aware they had a choice program for 4 years where the county basically, every kid got to choose where they wanted to go to high school. And you mentioned IB with the International Baccalaureate program. Magnet programs, would the IB provide for busing for all of those kids that decide to go into that program?
To my knowledge, no, and I have a problem with that because I think it's fine to have specialized schools, but then I think you also have to have some room for choice, because let's say you're zoned to a specialized school in International Baccalaureate and you're not interested in pursuing that. Of course, in this particular case, the high school that's offering that is going to that'll only be for the a subset of kids in the student body who are interested. They still offer traditional comprehensive high school courses for the majority of the population. But I think as you specialize more and more, you need to have those choice things, and that's a difficult thing because people really want their neighborhood schools, but then they also want choices. And I've read a little bit about communities like Pinellas County. I haven't read about that particular one, but where they offer these choices, and it seems like it has some major pros and some cons. Because you no longer might not go to school with your neighbors anymore, and it seems easier to do in middle and high school than elementary in some ways.
And then one more quick question: where is the IB program going to be located, and are there plans for any more magnet programs or programs such?
Yeah, it's going to be located at West High School, which is near West Knoxville, and they're in the year of application right now, and they have to get reviewers from Sweden and other people to come in and make sure they're doing, getting all the training and so forth that their teachers need. Another big thing that I'm excited about is the STEM high school, science, technology, engineering, and math. We're hoping to use some stimulus monies and Race to the Top monies to open up a brand new high school that wouldn't have any zoned students. It would only students would be there by choice, and would be students who are particularly interested in pursuing careers in those fields. And I anticipate that it would be sort of a small school. It wouldn't necessarily have all the amenities of a comprehensive high school, like all the sports and other things, but it would be really highly motivated students who want the rigor in those areas, and I think that'll be a great thing for Knoxville.
Question there, and then we'll go back there.
Clay Seal. Is the issue, the Carter Elementary issue, is that as pressing as the parents, some of the parents are making it out to be? Like they were really happy that nothing happened last time when the commission looked at it?
Yeah, well, back in March when we approved our capital plan the first time, there were people there from Carter applauding the fact that we were finally moving forward on renovations. And, the only thing that's changed between now and then is not the merits, but the politics of it. So I think that there are definitely deficiencies there. The cafeteria is very small. They need to upgrade the electric and wiring and that sort of thing, and the library is small. But we renovate buildings all the time very successfully. That's the common approach to it. We can't afford to build new. all the time. You know, that's just beyond our capacity, and also not good stewardship of taxpayer funds. So I've been to Carter Elementary School, you know, at least a half a dozen times, even, you know, during school and outside of school, and, you know, I think it's an adequate facility now, and I think after renovations it would be an excellent one. So,
Are you glad that the county commission deferred it to you guys again, the vote?
no.
No, is
not
everybody
glad.
like hands off? We don't want to deal with that, or
I think that you know, the school board. The school board's job is to set the spending priorities for the money that county commission allocates, and I think that they were, in some ways, crossing a boundary and trying to dictate how we spend the money when it's their primary role is to say this is how much you get, and you know, so in that way, I think, you know, the board wasn't pleased to have it sent back multiple times, and we did, you know, they some members of commission came across information that they thought we needed to know about to help inform our decision, and we asked the superintendent to review that, and he did a lot. He'd already done quite a bit of due diligence, and so had the board, but he took a lot of time and did even more, visiting multiple other sites where they've done cheaper construction to see if that would meet our criteria and so forth. And, you know, we came back and drew ultimately the same conclusion, although we were able to provide more details and stuff. And even then, the commission wanted to bring it back to us. So, you know, to me, the delay is unfortunate because it really, the only people it hurts is people, students at Carter Elementary who deserve, you know, some fixes sooner rather than later.
Question back there.
Nick Spinner. You talked about how Knox County seems to be a little bit behind in like school boards. Are you trying to like model Knox County out of, you know, any of the school boards you've seen in other places such as like Arizona or Baltimore?
Mm-hmm. When I said that, I meant more just the state of education generally. I'm not really that familiar with the way school boards operate in other states. I think Knox County is a leader in the state of Tennessee, both, you know, as an education system, and I think our board's very active and engaged and, you know, professional. So no, I don't see us trying to model the school board on other states, but I do think it's wise to look at, you know, outside the state of Tennessee to see what others, you know, other school systems are doing and whether that would be appropriate for us or not.
Also, what has been the hardest thing for you to accomplish while on the board, either as an individual or just as a school board in general, as a whole?
Well, I think just generally when I came to the board, you know, I was like, let's change this and let's change that. And what I've learned in 6 years now is that there, you know, change is harder than it sounds. You know, it's a big institution and it's hard to even turn it a few degrees, much less 180 degrees. And also I've grown in my appreciation for the quality of things that we do have, and also the quality of the effort of the people involved. So, you know, it's easy to be a critic when you're completely on the outside and don't always know all the circumstances and challenges facing a school board.
Lastly, it said that next year you want someone else to take over your job. What do you plan on doing afterwards?
Well, the chair, I still have, I still have 2 years left on my school board term. So what would I do when I'm a regular member of the board instead of chair? Well, I think in a way I'll be able to participate more actively on behalf of you know, my own district and issues that I want to particularly focus on. When you're chair, you're really focused on county-wide issues, and you have to set the agenda, and then you have to run the meeting. And a lot of times when you're sort of playing traffic cop during the meeting, you know, trying to say, oh, it's your turn to talk, and now it's your turn, and ask the superintendent when, you know, to resolve this issue and that, you don't, you know, it gets so busy administering the meeting, you don't often get as fully engaged in the substance of it. So I would look forward to being able to disengage from that, you know, the traffic cop role and being more engaged in the substantive discussions.
Thank you.
Any other questions for our guest? We covered, yes.
Yeah. Jason Webster. Can you elaborate on Race to the Top? what it is and
Okay.
what it will do for Knox County?
Yeah, well, it's a really exciting time in education in the state of Tennessee. We were one of just 2 states to win in the first round. We got $500 million, over like $513 million that's going to come from the federal government to the state of Tennessee over the course of 4 years. And that sounds like a lot of money. I think the amount that's coming to Knox County over 4 years is like $13 million, which again is a huge amount of money, but we have a $370 million budget, so it's a small amount percentage-wise. But what it'll allow us to do is focus on some innovative things. We're having a leadership academy in partnership with UT, and I think that's real important. There's a lot of research that shows that strong schools always have a really effective principal. And we have some really great principals, but it's sort of by luck rather than by deliberate, purposeful training. And so we've identified some strong candidates, and they're shadowing effective principals during part of the week and then attending coursework and that sort of thing. So Leadership Academy, the STEM, the high school that I was talking about, also hoping to use some of the Race to the Top funds for what we call TAP, the TAP program, which is sort of strategic compensation for teachers, giving our excellent teachers rewards for being excellent based on the student outcomes they're able to achieve, and also encouraging what's called professional learning communities, where teachers learn from each other. So basically, the Race to the Top will allow us to actually implement some of these best practices, things that we know are working well, but that we otherwise wouldn't be able to afford.
Other questions? Yes.
Hi, you mentioned you have 2 children. Do they or will they attend Knox County schools?
They do. I have 2 girls. They're in 2nd and 4th grade, and they attend Beaumont Elementary, which is our neighborhood school. It's also a magnet Title I project grad school. So I feel like that gives me good perspective on what some of our urban schools, the challenges facing those schools, and the student mobility rate, students moving from school to school all the time. And it also gives me good perspective. Sometimes our teachers and our schools get really battered in the media and other places, and I think it's helpful to have kids in school, because I realize, my kids both have excellent teachers. I think the school itself is really doing a great job, doing some really innovative things, and I think if you didn't have that direct experience, you might have some much more negative impression of schools in general and the state of education. And while I think there's a role for constructive criticism, I don't believe in bashing. So my kids are in school and I'm really pleased with the education they're getting, and that is helps inform my role as a school board member too.
Other questions?